So are we, because, since it's us, we might go back to like Keisha. Should we just, it's Ameya, right? And we need to stay on Ameya, right?
Ameya Taylor. Get it right.
Ameya. I mean, we can flip flop. I am who I am.
Facts. I was just saying, I ain't wanted to slip out there. You be like, Keith, like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Like,
Nah. I think a lot of folks have aliases now, so it is what it is, and you got to stay true to where you came from. You know what I mean?
Facts. Sure.
So, Donnie, that's a great view behind you.
Hey, thank you, man. And matching, I got my outfit matching it today. Something different. But I always been extra, I guess.
I know, trying to show off.
Yeah, man.
Trying to show off.
If you want to live it, you might as well live it, So.
Indeed. I totally understand.
Absolutely.
Totally understand.
And my mom,
wifey and all of that.
She's good, man. She's good. We just out here living life, you know what I'm saying? But all is good. All is good. Things are looking up. I was like, is she stuck? She got stuck in a great pose. Full screen pose, but look, I need it. Oh, you back now. You were stuck smiling. I was like, oh man, that's the pose to be.
No, I was gonna say.
What was you about to say?
No, I was gonna say the little one, but I'm like, she's not so little anymore. You had a girl or boy?
I ain't got neither.
You ain't got neither.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me.
Is that what you know what that means?
I work with them. I work with
you know what that means? Somebody dreaming of fish over there. That's what
right. She got that fish dream. You on this joint next year, be like, well.
From 9 months from now, like you heard it first.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness gracious! This has been a wild ride the past 6-7 months. Oh, it's been longer than that.
Yep.
Yeah, about 6-7 months. It's been a wild ride.
8.
Things are so different. People are so different. Driving is different.
Amen.
It's like people have forgotten how to drive. What in the world?
Yeah, people aggressive now, like really aggressive.
But it's like it's almost like a lot of folks that are getting on the road now. It's like they just got out of driver's ed. I don't get them like the decision making. Really, I don't know. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'm like, okay, well, maybe folks have been stuck in the house for so long, not, in that every day, routine, drive to work, drive from work, drive to work, drive from work. So, you keep your feet wet. You keep it, you keep your, how do they say it for your bikes? You keep your chain greased. Know what I mean? You keep your chain greased so it doesn't get rusty and pop on you.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah. How's your mom?
Man, listen, he telling me and him. Mom's is good. She actually told me to tell you hi.
Please tell her I said hello. Yeah, please.
Because, she loves you.
And I love your mama.
Yeah. Everybody
she look like she went to school with us.
See, don't even bring that. Just little hard memories. The homies used to try to holler at my mom back in the day.
Oh, boy.
So, it's just jokes, though. I ain't worried about it.
Ooh, that sucks. Yeah. Oh, man.
All them love Keisha. My godmother loved Keisha. My mama loved Keisha. Everybody. Anybody who saw you sing in high school, they like, oh.
How old is your mom?
Where's she at? Did you just say how old is she?
How are they doing, Devin?
Oh, I thought you said they good. They're good.
How are they? How are they?
They are very well.
Please tell them I said hello. I mean,
absolutely will.
You know, I just think back to the Malika days, the family situation that was created. We knew mamas, mama knew us, daddies, the daddies knew us. We knew sisters, brothers, cousins, uncles. We knew everybody, you know, because everybody appreciated the atmosphere that had been created, you know. And so folks, they wanted to be a part of that, you know, and the support system that we had behind us because of that, you know, was great. So I miss those days. I
Amen.
miss those days. I know we
If
were
not nothing
talking
else,
about
structure.
yeah. I know I found myself during my teachings, I find myself sounding a little bit like Mary. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's okay. Just embrace it. I think we all have a moment where it'd be like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like Mary right
Hmm.
there. So,
Yeah,
yep.
for damn sure.
So how are things out there in Cali? I know it had been kind of crazy. How are things right now, currently?
Well,
I don't know.
I'm in Northern Cali, so I mean things have calmed down with the fires. Like we were going crazy with fires for a minute, so that's calmed down. Um, the virus is like, it's lightening up. The restrictions are lightening up now. So we'll see. The last time that happened, it got crazy and they had to shut it back down. So we'll see. You know what I mean? Like I keep a mask on no
Right,
matter what. Sanitizer in my pocket. I'm not playing with these people out here. So I don't know, but
right.
you know,
I don't blame you.
yeah.
I don't blame you. I know my cousin, this was back in May before Florida was hit hard as it had been hit. What was that? Got hit hard June, right? Was that June or July? Where they had like cases that spiked in like the maybe like 1500 daily.
Hmm.
What was that? That was June or
That's
July?
probably June.
Yeah, I think so too.
That was June, July?
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah, June.
Okay. So in April, like towards the end of April, early May, my cousin, because he and his family moved to Florida like before Christmas of last year. And he was saying he had to get out of there. He drove his son to New Jersey from Florida. He said, I gotta get out of here. You know, he took my little cousin to my auntie's out there in New Jersey from Florida, 18 hours. He said folks they weren't wearing masks. You know, everything was
Hmm.
still crowded. The beaches, everything was so crowded. People were acting like there was nothing going on in the world. Like they were all in this bubble, all by themselves. You know, unaffected, just not a care in the world. And then that spike happened.
Hmm.
I saw it coming though. I'm like, yeah, y'all opening the beaches, and oh yeah, y'all opening everything full capacity. Because you know, out here in Maryland, Virginia, and DC, they're doing like half capacity for like the bigger venues that
Hmm.
normally have host like events and things like that. Like the Carlisle where I perform, they're at half capacity. So I say at the most maybe 105, if that. But they've been getting maybe about 85, 90 in there, and they've rearranged things so much because they used to have the tables situated where they would be like close to the stage. You know what I mean? And it's far from that now. And I mean, I'm able to actually appreciate just the ambiance of the place. You know, when it's so crowded, all you see is people and tables. But now I'm paying attention to the wall fixtures and all of these things. So it's just interesting how things have changed. They said they actually prefer it this way rather than the old way, and they're just going to start, instead of having one big show, they're going to have two. They're going to split it up. So
No, I think that's like the gift and the curse of this situation. A lot of like venues and like even just what you do at home, like you've had to figure out creative ways to do things. But it's bringing people like closer in a weird way. Like you can't be together like you want to be, but I know Zoom calls have gone way up where people are like just interacting. Like I interact with family members that I haven't talked to when I had the opportunity to actually go, like especially being out here. Like I hadn't talked to them in forever, but now, we linking on Zoom like all the time and actually talking more than we did before. So I feel like there's this like concentration or like this real want for interaction between people now. And it's like been a gift and a curse to where I think you almost can get closer to people. Like I said, with venues, the experience can be like almost better now because they had to think of a creative way to still have people out. So now it's like, damn, this is actually a little better. You know what I'm saying? So, I think we should learn some things from this and take them with us as we move forward.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is, it's like, to me, it's like a new normal, man. Like LA was still kind of reeling when COVID hit. LA was still reeling from losing Kobe, and like people was already kind of messed up out here off of that alone. And then COVID hit, then George Floyd hit, then the news of Breonna Taylor hit, then and then more COVID. You know what I mean? Like we got to go, close everything back down, and so just like people out here angry, man, like angry, and we got not just all that, but we got fires now too. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like air quality is low, morale's low, people angry, driving crazy, you know what I'm saying? Talking reckless, like it's epic, man. It's epic. Like there's no other way.
I mean, before I remember, California being known for earthquakes. Just the earthquakes, that was like a hot spot for earthquakes. And then, when all this COVID stuff, well, I'll let me just rewind. Then the fires, the forest fires, the wooded area fires, take place. So you hear a lot about that, and then with California, New York, Arizona, Florida, all of these places got hit really hard. Well, Texas was another one, right? Texas was another one. Texas wasn't Tennessee, it was Texas. But I mean, I'm like, wow, California is getting hit like with one thing after the other, and it's just amazing how, like, even before COVID, how California has been able to bounce back and like resume activity. It's just amazing how that happens. But then now you have, this fire situation going on, and then the COVID cases on the rise, so you have both of those things going on at the same time. It's like, wow, we really have to stay prayed up, not just for our families, but for our community as well.
Right.
It's just, everybody's going through something right now.
Yep.
Everybody is,
Yep. 2020 has been a monster. 2020 is that.
Yes,
2020 has been that year that, like, when we like 80 years old, we're gonna tell our grandkids and kids after that, just be like, let me tell you about 2020. Like that year, that was everything. Like, how your grandparents now, with like older folks now, have them stories about those crazy times. Like 2020 is one of them years that's gonna fall into, let me tell you about a year where everything was crazy.
Yeah, see, 2020 seems to be that magic number. 2020, that television show about the world news and current events and things like that. You know, that was a big thing. That must be a magic number
Mhm.
because they discussed a lot of important stuff. And 2020 is displaying a lot of stuff as a mixture of just stuff
Yeah.
that people, you know, have no choice but to put on their plates. Whether their immediate families are being affected by it or surrounding families of people that they know, whether it be on their job or, you know, a close friend or somebody like that. So it's just a lot going on. So anywho, how's music? How's the music world out there for y'all? Even with
Yeah, let's get
everything
into it,
going
Donnie. Let's
on.
let's hit the topics. Let's get it.
All right,
We
we're gonna
about to
get
hit a
some.
topic right now. We going all the way in. Let's go.
All right, let's go back. Let's switch to this right now. Drum roll, please. So,
Okay.
being that you are an accomplished black woman, a lovable black sister, and an amazing recording artist, the question the
Appreciate
question is no, all due respect. The question is, what do you feel is the status of women in the music industry today? Like, you know, overall, where, you know, over the years it's always been one of those questions about you know, women don't have the same kind of opportunities of advancement, or they're not recognized as much as men have historically been. And you know, there was a long sense of fight. And asking to where you are in your career, and looking just at the landscape of music industry overall, what are your thoughts about the where women stand in the music industry right now?
Well, I think women now have more of a voice in the music industry now, whereas back in the day, they felt like special favors had to be done and all of these other things in order to be even given an interview,
Right.
if you will. Being seen face to face from someone, you had to take something off, or you had to do a robbery or something like that. You couldn't just walk up to a person and just submit your music and that sort of thing. Whereas now women have become much more educated and more creative in how to get themselves put out there the right way and not feel like they have to kind of cut themselves off at the knees in order to be given a shot. You
Right.
know, they've created more of their own individual platform. And you see a lot of people together, you know, folks have still been able to keep their own individuality at the same time. So, you know, they're like, if I can do it, if they can do it, I can do it. Like when people started getting hip to becoming an independent artist versus, you know, seeking to be picked up by a record label. Folks have become more educated and they become much more creative, like I said, in how to do it, you know, different avenues, you know, they can take in order to obtain that.
Okay.
You know, getting their music, getting airplay, the recording side, iTunes, and all of these different avenues where they can be, you know, they can have music played and heard by all over the league. So that's what I think is very different now than they felt like they were back then. You know, hip hop artists to me, as well as R&B and the R&B realm, the pop artist realm, you know, various genres. They've gotten much more educated as to how to do it, you know. So that's how I think it has changed. Um, I hope that answers your question. Did I answer
Oh, no.
everything within that question?
Yeah, no. It was just your thoughts overall. What are your feelings and thoughts about the topic? So, yeah, I think it was an excellent answer.
Yeah,
So,
and me, I'm learning more and more every day. Um, this is on production, the um, publishing and music realm. You know, as writers, as performers, as producers, as engineers. There's so many different things within this music realm that we can tap into. And women are definitely getting hip to that as well. You know, plus, you know, there are folks out here now, they've had relatives and friends who've been in the business that have kind of gotten them up to speed with their experiences. And so they take that and they're like, okay, I'm either going to go this way or I'm going to go my own way and take snippets of what I've learned from other people. You know what I mean? And I'm going to create my own thing, you know? So,
okay.
I also think like the landscape of like where we are just now in general has helped as well. Because I mean, I think there were women in power, but it wasn't really seen. You know what I mean? That wasn't a popular name, like a Kathy Hughes, right? A lot of people still don't know who
I'll
Kathy
agree
Hughes
with
is,
that.
right? Or I
I'll
think even
agree with that.
moving it up closer to like a Missy, who was writing, producing. Like her name is on a lot of credits that it wasn't necessarily the popular thing. Like you know what I mean? It was like you said. It was more like, what are you putting in front of the camera? How do you look? And I think now, one, it's understood that ownership is like everything, right? And understanding
Yes,
your
it
business.
is.
I think of people like you take a Beyonce, who's on top of the world when it comes to the music industry, but she's also like
Mm-hmm.
on top of her business too. And I think that like is what's become key and like what people are looking at more now is that yes, she can perform, sing, and all of that good stuff, and that's cool. But she actually is in the business side of things, ownership of like
Right.
masters and like writing music and being a
Mm-hmm.
part of like what the videos look like and not accepting that it has to be this way because a record label said so, right? And I think that's where everything is starting to move
I'll
towards.
agree with that.
I think we're really moving towards this like taking ownership of your for
And
both sides, for
also,
women and men. Go ahead.
yeah. And when you said she stays on top of the business and all of that, you have to make sure that you are involved in everything that has to do with your brand. You can't just kind of sign off and sign the checks and not, let things, allow things to be run by you,
Yeah,
because you have the folks who have experienced it like Tony Braxton and TLC and folks who have shared their stories. We'll never know what really happened, but, they share their stories of how, things were moving along so quickly, they didn't take the time to really pay attention to what's going on with every aspect of the business side, whether it be record sales, whether it be the tours, whether it be the clothes and all of these things, endorsements, everything. You're allowing folks to take care of all of these things for you instead of taking the time to really be involved in what is a part of your situation, you know.
exactly.
And so, hearing those things, it has educated a lot of those folks who came behind them as well. Men too, men
Hmm.
too. A lot of men won't say, I got. They won't say it because, as men, we want to exude strength with you. Well, I'm not a man, but you know what I mean. men, they want to exude that strength and such. So, you know, they don't often share their stories unless they don't have any choice but to. Because I mean, so much has been found out. They have to speak on all of this buzz that's been going on in the streets, so to speak. But yeah, a lot of folks who have shared their experiences, they have taught us that have come behind them how to be. I don't want to say smarter, because sometimes you just get caught up in the moment and you're not paying attention like you should. So I don't want to say smarter as if someone is being stupid or whatever, but I just think we overlook things sometimes and we think everything is good, everything's moving, you know, and we don't realize until maybe a year later, okay, my taxes, they haven't been done, this, that, and the third. So just in being more cautious and being more mindful of everything that you truly need to be involved in when it comes to you and your brand and you as the artist. You get what I'm saying? So it's definitely taught me.
Absolutely.
And this is a hard knock life. You gotta stay true to it. And you gotta grind. I mean, you can't expect these things to be handed to you. You gotta put that grind in, you gotta put that work in order to, you know, make it to where you want to be. Just sometimes people surpass what they could have even, you know, they surpass what they even dreamed of for themselves. You know what I mean? Just from the grind itself. Wow. I started off with this small garden. Now look what I have. You know what I mean? I have a whole yard full of flowers now. So
Exactly.
Ooh, I think we got.
Tico, you up here in the clouds. You under the bridge somewhere. Oh, she sound like Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely can't get on right now. I didn't know this was Zoom, y'all. I don't even have a wig on right now. Okay, not doing this. So this is what y'all get. Y'all getting the San Francisco Bridge and the top and my voice.
whoa.
What's going on though? Hey.
That's good. That is hilarious. Hey, look, we just talking. We talking about women in the industry, like where we are now. What's the impact of women in the industry? How far women have come in the industry? Like just the difference now than like what it maybe was like maybe 20, 30 years ago. What are your thoughts as being an artist yourself, grinding, making things happen? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I was listening and I got in and I was catching you all made reference to like your Missy Elliott's, and I was thinking, wow, Missy Elliott, a female rapper, producer, composer, all around entertainer. And I'm like, wow, she made such a high impact at the time when she, first came on the scene, what have you. Up until now, Missy, of course, was extremely irrelevant. I mean, extremely relevant. And I thought about today's rapper women, and I was like, wow, it's a whole nother world. Like, it's risque. I mean, women are winning, by the way, especially in that rap game. And it's just like they're coming they're like on 1,000 right now. They coming with hitting with the lyrics, they hitting with the beats, they hitting hardcore, they're unapologetic. They're like sexually free, liberated, and it's like, wow, like this is a whole nother thing going on. And it's such a big contrast from someone like a Missy Elliott at her time when she was doing her thing, first coming on the scene. So it makes me think now, like, so where are we going to be 20, 30 years from now when it comes to women and entertainment? Like, what entertainment be? I'm intrigued. I mean, it's such a big difference. So, yeah. And as far as my artistry and me being, doing it for so long and seeing when Missy first came on the scene and seeing, today's artists, you know, one thing's for sure, I'm always going to say there's nothing new under the sun. So, you know, we just kind of getting a little bit of what we've seen over the years mixed with, you know, today's mentality, you know, as far as like women in the industry. The over-sexualized part of it, you know, is interesting because I was like, where do we go from here, you know? But we have women to explore themselves like your Madonnas, your Grace Jones, and your little Kims, things like that. They kind of set it forward, but now it's just like you see the product of it now. So we just gonna get more products, you know? So I'm just intrigued. I don't have a set opinion on it, but I'm just intrigued by it to see where it go from here. I mean, I've been an artist, I always stuck to my own thing, and I dance to the rhythm of my own drum. So I don't feel like I don't have to keep up or, you know, even force my opinion what people have about, you know, what people are doing these days, how they're going about their artistry.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question to throw out there. Just we've been talking about Missy a little bit in this conversation. Like, do you guys think, and this is a little off topic, but do you think Missy gets the credit she actually deserves for everything that she actually has done? Like being a writer, producer, engineer, rapper, singer. Like, I think if a male were to do it, like what would that look like? I'm trying to think of somebody who has all of those credits to their name and what their status looks like. And I think Missy's pretty big. I'm not taking anything away from her, but
it's like Quincy Jones, man.
Swiss Beats made a comment that people kind of came after him for, but I think he was right. They were talking about doing a versus between Missy and Janet Jackson. And he said, I don't think it would be a good battle because Janet is just Janet. Like, she don't really have any other layers other than being Janet. Her catalog probably can't keep up with Missy. And a lot of people were like, what? Like, nah, you can't say that. Janet is Janet, right? But when you think about it, and all the layers that Missy got, all the things she's produced, written, and then her own music, it actually makes sense as far as if you're talking about a good battle, because Missy's done so much, and I think people don't really realize it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know, and when I don't even think he really knew how to, because like even right now, it's like you can't really describe Janet. Janet she was popular even before she became Janet Jackson, being a part of the Jackson family itself. So there was a platform, you know, for her to kind of step out there because her brothers had already been in the industry already. And it just so happened that they never knew that this little Janet had more to her than just being the sister of the Jackson Five or the Jackson Five, the extended clan, because you know they switched out members for a few years. But Janet is who she is in her own right, and Missy is who she is in her own right. Missy, when I think about Missy and just her journey over the years and watching her, she is hip hop, she is dance, she is singer, she is producer, she is songwriter. She has so many different layers. Janet, she's singer, she's performer, she's dancer. There's so many different layers to her as well. It's like, how do you compare two people who have created their individuality in their own right, but neither of the two are anywhere near being the same.
Right.
Neither of them.
Good point.
You know, so it's like there is no real comparison. I'm sitting here, when you pose us with the question, I'm sitting here like, it's like, you can't say Janet is just Janet, because Janet is more than just Janet. Just like Missy is more than just Missy, but they just have their own situation. Janet, I mean, you know, there are folks she's sold out, I mean, all over the world. And she's still doing so, even though she hasn't put out like an album in some time. You know what I mean? So I don't I can't with artists there is no, I don't really have an opinion. There's so many things I like about so many different people. You know what I mean? And in so many different genres of music. You know, 'cause some folks are maybe like, they may say, well, why do you like them? I have my own reasons for why I like them. It may be something that they remind me of that's happened in my life or anything, but I don't think I would sit there and try to compare Missy and Janet. I just wouldn't even go there.
And I think I agree with you, and I think that was his point. I think he was saying like they're like two different animals that like their catalog different. Like it's two different things, right? And I think that was what he was saying was like I don't want to put them two against each other because it's like it doesn't necessarily totally make sense. They're both iconic in their own way. As far as a versus goes, where he tries to pair up people that kind of make sense in some kind of realm, like doing like the Monica and Brandy made sense. Like they came up the same time, they did music in a realm that was similar. It was a good versus battle. Right. Those two is like people took offense to it, and I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he was saying more of what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like comparing Everson and Shaq. You know, it's like if you compare Everson to Shaq, it's like it doesn't. Like, how can you do that? You know. So.
Yeah, really, you're right. Because I mean, it's just interesting when this battles thing started. I'm like, why are they doing this? Because it's like even when they did Chris Brown and an Usher, I'm like, come on now. Usher was a kid when he came out on the scene, just like Chris Brown was, you know, when he came out on the scene. And Usher, I mean, he really made a name for himself, just as Chris Brown did. But they went with the times that they were in. You get what I'm saying? Chris Brown was coming up on the scene when Usher was, because Usher is what? He our age? Yeah, he's like our age, isn't he? Yeah, he's like our age. And Chris Brown is young. Say that again.
I said Usher was already grown when Chris came out.
What happened?
No, I was saying
yeah,
Usher
and
was
that's
grown
what I'm
when
saying.
Chris
It's like,
came
how
out.
can you really compare? Yeah, it's like, how can you really compare this? It's like Usher established such a name for himself, you know, and Chris Brown has too. So it's like, when you do a battle, it's like you're dealing with like the 90s. You put 90s with like the 2005, 2010. You know what I mean? Is relative, but it's different, you know? So, I don't know.
That's why I respect them. I think they've done some pretty good situations, what they put together. I don't know, Donnie, go to the, what's the next topic?
Definitely.
Sure. So we actually covered a lot of the topics. I guess the next transition conversation piece to speak on, considering we talked about being explicit and with the image and the ferocity in which women come in to the music industry these days. So I was getting ready to ask, what are your thoughts about the song with her and Megan Thee Stallion? But I think that's irrelevant right now. But I do want to touch on the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez beef, and the whirlwind surrounding that. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation?
Tico, you want to take this or?
Yeah, well, okay, so I just heard earlier some snippets from the Tory Lanez album he just put out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tico, you breaking up? I can't hear you. Mm-mm.
Still chopped up.
I think I put it on. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's like interrupting. Sorry. Can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
No one hear me now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I know. It's like that commercial.
Right. Right.
Oh, yeah. So what I was saying was, I think y'all can hear me now. What I was saying was he mentioned in his rap lyrics about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I know. It's like that commercial.
Right. Right.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, I heard a delay. Oh, what is going on? I was playing back.
Yeah, it's a delay. Got it. Sorry about that.
Okay. So he was mentioning in his rap lyrics about how he didn't have any type of muscle or bone or tendon injury. And, his claim to fame, it seemed like to me that they're making a story up on him. And to be honest with you, I just yesterday said, yeah, well, why? If she was shot in her foot, she sure recovered fast. That's strange to me. So my thoughts on it is, I'm just sitting back and eating my popcorn and watching the movie, in other words, because, it's like, am I seeing actually what they're saying, or is this just some type of stage, situation? Because it's like, yeah, how did this girl just, get shot in the foot 2 times? I didn't know it was 2 times. I thought she maybe just got shot in the. I mean, the foot has all those ligaments and things. So, how that I believe she did a walk video after she was allegedly shot in the foot. So how are you up there doing a walk and you just got shot in your feet, not your foot? Okay. So my thoughts on it is pretty much, I'm just, like I said, I'm just sitting back watching the show. I can't, have no type of empathy or sympathy for anyone, because why waste my time? I mean, we watch movies, for entertainment. So I'm just being entertained. That's what I feel about it. That's not how I feel, but that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to say that because, Tory dropped a whole on album. It's supposed to be dedicated to the whole situation, and it's like 20 songs.
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody just got shot and this is just going on, how you got a whole on album about it? Like, use it. I mean,
yes.
Supernatural writer to be able to write songs. You know what I mean? And they all dedicated to this situation. I mean, I'm talking about you went with me shooting in the gym, like you, yeah. So I mean, I think it's definitely a lot of propaganda in it. But
absolutely.
But I definitely don't want to speak on people's emotions or their things that happen. I mean, sometimes things happen. You know what I mean? Like I'm a big fan of your life is your life, and things happen, and then the world finds out, and then it is what it is. But so I don't necessarily want to say they made the right decision, the wrong decision, or who was hanging with who or shouldn't have been, and whatever the scenario is. It's just like you said. It just seems fishy just because of the way and everything is just like wheeling out, like rolling out. So
I just feel like there's a new piece of the story every day.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
It went from her girl shot her to he shot her to they were arguing to he didn't shoot her to he made her dance before he shot her. Next they're gonna have a giraffe in the back seat, a gazelle through, the Lion King was there. I'm just like, I feel you when it feels like get your popcorn out, because it's like every day there's this new layer of the story. And like everybody's taking a piece, like Rick Ross is now like, why you do that to the homie? And like, You know what I mean? And then you got T.I. who's like, I talked to Tory Lanez and he said that ain't what happened. And then her friend is supposed to have a version of the story that's close to Tory Lane's side of it, and it does feel just like, what are we doing? Like, is this a plot to get some like publicity? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to feel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, one thing's for sure, I'm not going to form my opinion on neither one of these people. Like, I don't even feel the need to form my personal opinion. Like, I don't dislike Tory Lanez because he just allegedly shot this girl on her feet. You know, I'm not. So, I mean, am I going to still enjoy his music? Yes. If he still continue to put it out. And like I said, and eat the popcorn.
Right.
And maybe with a little soda on the side.
Exactly.
Because like you said, they're like just adding. They just keep adding to it. Like, all right, so what are we doing here?
It feel like a run-on sentence right now.
What's
like
that?
It feel like a run-on sentence. They just like,
yeah, for sure.
And also this happened, and also this happened, and it's just like, I thought he got deported. Like, I guess not, but I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, all right, it all sounds good. Like, whatever works.
A quick transition too, real quick. You know, Perry is since I got y'all sisters on there, has anybody on this joint seen Parabellum or Antebellum yet?
Not yet.
Have we seen who?
Antebellum.
Nah.
Gotta see it.
I haven't seen it yet, but
Janelle Monáe.
See what Janelle's gonna do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like, yeah. Like,
Janelle's amazing. I feel like she's like what Lauryn Hill was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like with the acting.
You know what? I think I have to agree with that.
You said
what?
Yeah, I do.
I feel as far as the artistry, the acting, and like all of that, like she kind of stepped in and like is that manifestation of what we all wanted Lauryn to be.
Yeah.
Well, we all.
Yeah, I think Lauryn is more of a rebel. She's too much of a rebel to, you know. I think Janelle has more of not conforming, because she's. I wouldn't want to say that because she seems a little liberated, but she seemed like she would do. She's not much of a rebel as Lauryn. You know, she seems like she'll take like direction more, like, you know, okay, let's work together and do this. Whereas Lauren's like, this is my ship, I'm running it. You know, I'm not doing this. You know, that's not right. You know, she's just more of a rebel. So
you know what I think? Though?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like she learned from Lauryn though. I feel like because she has her rebel moments. Like, she came out and was like, I'm not gonna look like anybody else but me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. She's like, came out as, I forgot what she said. She is fluid.
She's
what did she say?
She was I don't want to misquote no one.
Yeah, I don't know what. Pansexual, is that what it is? Something,
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way,
pansexual.
She came out like, and she's just, I mean, I feel like she makes some pretty bold statements and like does what she wants. I just feel like she learned how to maneuver in a way that's like, I'm gonna do what I want, but I'm gonna still be able to get the roles. And I feel like Lauryn at that time, again, like this, it falls into the conversation. She was a woman saying, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do. And I think the repercussions of that at that time were different than they are now.
She was more fighting for like woman empowerment. No, I can't say that because Janelle too, but hers more like a well, she was, you know, she's trying to uplift Black women in a way where, you know, we're not oppressed in ways by our culture and by how things are set up, you know, how we're like kind of like set up in ways where we're expected to fail, in other words, you know. So it's like,
no, I agree. And I think like I said, I think it's timing. Like if we go back, and I'm a big thought person about the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, right? But Colin, he kneeled down like I don't even know how many years ago it was, right? But now in the NFL, you got people kneeling, doing all kinds of protests, and it's like the hot topic now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not looked at as it was when Colin did it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lauren is the same
Yeah.
thing. Like when Lauren was doing it, it wasn't okay. It wasn't
Right.
viewed as okay. To where now it's like, oh, women empowerment. That's a movement now. So now Janelle can do the things that Lauren couldn't do in her time.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I was saying earlier, how you know, women in the industry, them having a voice has changed a lot in the present versus back in the day. Women didn't have as much of a platform to really be able to call more of their own shots like they are now. You know, and like Tico said, when she was talking about, how how women are much more, they have much more freedom when it comes to their sexuality and all of that. It's like, hey, the men do it, why can't we talk about it as well? You know, if that's what we choose to do,
Yeah.
So
Hey, look, I know I'm bouncing off what y'all saying. I'm feeling what y'all saying. So what y'all feel about the entanglement there?
That's just real life stuff.
Talk about freedoms. What you feel about entanglements and like, Jada kind of, she put that word out there. She had Will with the typeface.
I feel like that was, that's life. It happens. It just, they were bold enough. And at a time like this, I think people were probably able to accept it more. But if it happens, that's some stuff that happens in marriages. And they just, like I said, they put it out there. They put it on forefront. And that was a bold move because they were going through something then. That's why it happened. And this can also kick up some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't put it in front of everybody. So I think it was bold. Like I said, it's 2020. Everything goes. They picked the perfect time. Like what else can actually happen? Like where this pink elephant that's gonna fall out the sky in a second? Because 2020 has been insane.
It might happen.
Yeah.
I swear to goodness. So we're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you went and got some strange. Okay, Jada. It's because it's Jada Pinkett. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why it's such a big deal. But, I
don't know. I kind of I think it's more of, like, it's Jada Pinkett. It's Jada Pinkett.
Million women everywhere, but she did. So it's life. It's just that the people that we see and we admire, it happens to them too.
Yeah, I guess I was just more floored at it. Was just like no shade, but it was like it's like, dude, it's August Alsina, like, huh? Like that was
He's
just
the perfect boy toy. He's
like,
the perfect boy toy.
That's perfect. I just never
dive into that no more.
I never walked down that lane in the toy store. I was just like, bro, like I've never seen that before. I was like, August Alsina, like, again, no shade. I just like, it could have been like Idris Elba or something. I'd be like, okay, I get it. Morris Chestnut.
No,
of course.
I don't think Idris would have been in
their
house.
Perfect type.
What you think, Keisha? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, I have.
Keisha know he's the perfect type of boy toy. She knows that. You know it.
He's a cutie pie, and to be honest, I don't think she really saw that coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was the brother's friend, and he, she could have been sitting on the back porch, just having some time to herself, and is everything all right? Blah, 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 blah. He was a sound ear that she needed at the time. You just don't know how this stuff came about, because, we've heard so many things about their marriage over the years. Me, I could care less, because what you choose to do in your marriage is your business. What I can appreciate about the two of them is that, this red table talk that they do, they put all of it out there. You know what I mean? And it was hush hush for a while, all the things that was stirring around, speculation about this, speculation about that, them having an open marriage and blah, 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 blah. And they may very well have that. I don't care, you know, but people just don't know what comes with being a celebrity, what comes with trying to have a relationship.
Pause. Think about it.
Yeah, that was an interesting point. You know what Ameya said. It was like, yeah, because it all boiled down to, I guess, celebrity and all that.
Worldwide celebrity.
Okay.
There's a lot that comes with that, and it's hard for a lot of people to deal with. And like Will said, he was so he was on a grind. He was on a mission to become like this. I mean, that dude
Will
that
Smith. Right.
he felt like he realized that he neglected his family. And with him being honest about that, she probably felt that. You know what I mean? And sometimes we think everything is good. I'm making the money, I'm taking care of home, blah, 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 blah. But are you really, truly taking care of home? Sometimes we lose our way, moving, and we forget about all of those things that are important instead of some of the things, you know. So me, entanglement, I don't think it was an entanglement. I just think it was what it was. And I believe that this young boy probably caught feelings for her, and that's why it came to the surface, because you got to think a youngin, we being at the ages that we are, we're like, we can look, this is who I am, this is what I do, are we going to do this thing or not? Whereas a young person, they haven't lived, it's new to them, it's exciting and blah blah blah. She may have very well been his first love. You just don't know. I don't know if I would call it an entanglement. I would just call it what it was.
Look, for me, it's weird. I took two things from it. Like, one, I think about, again, a lot of our talk has been about like woman empowerment, where like women are like viewed today. And I think the fact that it came out and she said it, she owned it, and she's still who she is. Like, she's not shamed. She's not considered to be a hoe or like this or that. It's like, it can be viewed as it is what it is. Like, they were going through something. This is what happened. Like, that's a step. Like, that's something, because that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. 20 years ago, she'd have been a hoe, and it'd have been like, how can you be with her, Will?
Yeah.
And the second thing is, to me, she showed the power of a woman, because the reality is, Will done some shit. And you could tell in that conversation that she was like, you know what you done, right? But I'm not going to put you on blast because it's about me. So I'm going to take mine right now in this segment. But she kind of she threw it a little bit like, hey, you can put me through some shit too. Don't trip. Like, you know what I mean? Because you could tell that conversation wasn't easy for him. But the strength of a woman in that moment was that, I'm not going to put you on blast. I'm going to take mine. I got it. I handle it. And I'm still going to keep what hasn't come out about what you've done tucked away. You know what I'm saying? And that to me was like a strong move, because as men, I don't know if we are able to do that as well. Like, be on camera and be like, oh, I'm going to take this moment where I messed up and also hold your stuff back too. Like, I feel like we'd be like, I mean, I did this, but you remember what you did in August. Remember, you was no pun intended with the August, but
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
What do you think, Donnie?
I think the way my petty set up, I agree with what Baker said, because it definitely it could have went a lot deeper. really quick. You know what I mean? And you
Yes,
know,
it could have.
and I personally, so I mean, I don't really know how much I can say about it, but I'm gonna say. So I was able to be on crew for the first season of the Red Table Talk. So I was actually in the house what a couple of the episodes, and like it was like cool, I get this set up. Okay, we're cool. We in the living room. Okay, we're cool. We out in the yard, and the segments was cool. But then it was like, but August Alsina was there, and the whole time I'm sitting there, it was like, it just, but you know what I mean? Like I was just like, okay, that's a weird pairing. That's like, you sitting there in like Shaq's house, and then like Danny DeVito walks in. It's like I don't kind of get it. You know what I mean? So he was talking on the table or whatever. It is what it is. I mean, time passed. Whatever. And
Yeah,
then the
I
Steven
mean,
situation comes. It's just like, oh, okay, that's what that was.
yeah. Now I get what Tico was saying. I mean, he's a cute little young dude. It's a perfect setup. However, you see it backfired because this guy decided, to put, the situation out on Front Street. Relationships are hard. Life can be hard, and people deal with it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But they have gone through this, and it's still moving forward.
Hey,
You
look,
know what I
but
mean? They're still moving forward together and with life.
did it really backfire though? I
You
feel like
know,
I feel like he put the monster's ball on her.
well, no,
They done talked about it. People respect it. It is what it is.
well,
He done made a song about it.
well,
Then like keep it moving.
well. When I say backfired, I don't think they expected him to put it out there like this.
That's
You get
right.
what I'm saying? Or even have to own up to it. They could have very well said, "I plead the fifth," and not talk
Yeah,
about it at all. They are
true,
who they are. They ain't got to explain anything.
true.
But the choice that they made was to put it out there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I have nothing but respect for that. It's unapologetic.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is. You get to a certain age, it's unapologetic. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I've done. You can take it or leave it. It is what it is. And that's kind of how I roll. Whatever I choose to do is
That's
what
it.
I do. I'll do what I'm going to do moving forward, and that's it. So,
That's
yeah.
real.
Yeah, I get it. I think speaking, transitioning back out because we almost out of time. Individually, again, both of you guys are credible and incredible artists as well, and have done so much for your careers. How can people reach out to find you guys on social media? And then, if you care, elaborate on what you got coming up next, if there's anything next, or events, or projects. Please start with you, Tico.
Okay. Well, I just recently over the quarantine time, and thank y'all for this. Let me first say thank y'all for inviting me on here. Hopefully I can be invited back and I'll keep show my face. But anyways, I did release some things on iTunes, but actually all digital platforms. I have 3 songs out there. The first was the last year's single. Second was Cosmic Energy, and the third was Hearts in the Sky. So if you can't remember all of those, you can definitely check me out on Instagram. That's probably where I'm more active. But anyway, there's a link in my bio that will link you to all 3 singles. And I'm looking to put out a 4th one. And then once I put out a 4th single, then I'm going to do a full EP. So you guys stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much it for now. I don't have any shows for myself, but I do right now have gotten to the corporate world. I'm doing corporate events. So I've been kind of traveling the Southeast region, going from really it's wedding to wedding. Yep, I've kind of joined like a band. It's like 13 of us. And it was a big production, and we do some really, really nice weddings.
Awesome.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Amongst me doing my
All
solo
right.
thing. So yep. So just music everywhere.
Awesome. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Um,
Sure.
Ameya, how
Ameya
about yourself?
Taylor.
Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Tico. Congratulations, dear heart, on just everything you've accomplished so far, and blessings
Thank
to you
you.
on your continued journey through this music situation, because it is a
Yes,
situation.
ma'am. Well, thank you so much.
Now, you are welcome, honey. You're welcome. For me, I've been performing a lot locally. I perform with a few bands, a go-go band, obsession band, of course. You know, that's our family
Yes.
situation, Donnie and
Right.
Devin and
Yes,
Tico.
yes,
Oh yeah.
yes, yes.
And we've been doing some recording as well, original stuff.
Shout out.
Hopefully that will hit the surface towards the end of the year. I am also currently working on my EP, all of my own written music, my own written material. And I'm working with a great executive producer. We just vibed, and I'm very happy about that, and feel very blessed that we crossed paths. I'm also performing, doing tributes, like Tico said, weddings, and a lot of corporate events for businesses and things like that. Solo stuff. Um, I'm just happy to be able to do what I love. Everybody
Right.
hasn't been as fortunate to be able to do, what it is that they love, especially with this COVID situation going on. And I know I say situation a lot, but there are a lot of situations out here. Um, just with COVID going on, a lot of things have shut down. So folks who are full-time musicians, they haven't been able to practice what they love, what they chose as a career, as their bread and butter. And I'm just thankful that I've been able to still continue to do that. You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram. It's Ameya Taylor. That's Ameya Taylor, Taylor. Like I said, my EP, I'm hoping that with everything going on as slowly as it's going, that everything will drop by the end of the year as well for my solo EP. So thank you again to Devin and Donnie for inviting me as well. This has been good. This has been really good. I've enjoyed myself, and I look forward to the next time you guys, invite me to come back.
We definitely gonna have you back for sure. Same thing with you.
Okay.
Absolutely, ladies. Like, we appreciate you both coming on. I love y'all both from like all kinds of aspects. Keisha, like from watching you, or Maya, watching you tear down stages from high school and beyond. Tico, you already know 7418 kitchen table.
Oh wow.
Like, you already know what it is. So I appreciate both of your voices and like everything that you do. I support everything you do. Thank y'all for coming on. We appreciate it, and you definitely will be back on.
Yeah, I guess that leaves it
Thank you.
for me to break it up.
Yes.
I guess I'll put it to you like this, and this is coming straight from my heart. Like both of you ladies are the standard out of everybody I've ever worked with, as far as working with talented females, singers and vocalists, and we're trying to help grow their careers and so forth and so on. I always go back to stories about either of the both of you, and you guys have always been. I've always been impressed with both of you. Your gifts, your talents, and just how you carry yourselves overall. So I definitely appreciate you as family and friends, and you guys are loved ones of mine. So I just wanted to share much respect for that for you two. And
Thank you, Donnie.
no problem. And I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching Two Flew West. I'm Donnie B. Got the Beats. That's Nicholas Baker. Stay tuned for the next episode. I think we got three gentlemen. We got D Chan,
Your
Drake King,
accomplishments thus far. and moving forward. And you all be safe out there, please, as much as you possibly can, as best as you can.
Absolutely. Keep a
Thank
mask
you.
on. Put some sanitizer on your hands. Wash them up a couple times. Do what you do. You know what it is.
That's right.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, everyone. Have a good one.
Y'all.
All right, y'all have
All
a
right,
good
y'all.
one, okay?
Be easy. All right.
Stay up.